50 bob. That's all the money you need to be able to start building your emergency fund. I know so many people think that they need a lot of money to be able to start building the emergency fund, and that is not the truth. You can be able to start with as simple as 50 shillings that can be able to make you build an emergency fund. So if you're wondering how do I even start this, then welcome to this video where I'm going to teach you how you can be able to start building your emergency fund if you're a beginner, and why you also need to have an emergency fund, because so many people do not have an emergency fund and it is very alarming. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Miss Julie KE. I teach people on making money on the online space and how to manage their finances and being financially stable. So let's get into the big question, which is, what is an emergency fund exactly? So for anyone who is hearing an emergency fund for the first time, an emergency fund is simply the money that you put aside that will be able to help you as a cushion in case of an emergency, in terms of you losing your job, you losing your business, or things not going well with your business and you cannot be able to bring in the income that you are used to bringing in. So I'm talking about someone losing their job abruptly and you have no idea where to run to. So many people have been in this situation, and when it comes to losing your job, so many people really freak out, but it is even worse for anyone who does not have an emergency fund. And let me be honest, so many Kenyans, I know we are very guilty on this. Even I was in this boat. I am guilty for this. Most of us, we ignore, we don't even know how to get started with an emergency fund. Why do I need an emergency fund? Do I need to be earning a lot of money for me to be able to get started? The first thing when it comes to you understanding your emergency fund is you being able to sit down, have a budget, know exactly how much is it that I make, how much is it that I use on a monthly basis in my home. I'm talking about the basic stuff, from paying rent to paying utilities to grocery. If you have kids, the school fees. If you have other things, savings that you're also paying. If you have debts that you're also paying, you need to sit down and have all this dotted out in a good budget planner. And that's why you can be able to get yourself a good budget planner down here below on the descriptions that will help you and guide you to know exactly how much you use on a monthly basis. What is it that you have been ignoring? Because so many, you just pay rent, you pay utilities, but you don't sit down to know exactly how much has gone out and how much am I remaining with, so that you can be able to analyze and know how much you use on a monthly basis. That is the first step. You need to be able to understand, how much do I use on a monthly basis? Now that you have sat down, done your budget, have understood everything that you need to be able to do, you have understood your budget, you know that you are working with 50,000 on a monthly basis. That is how much you make. One thing you need to note is every person has a different budget. There are those budgets that will be high, there are those budgets that will be low. So don't be intimidated in any way. Just be true to yourself. Know exactly how much you use on a monthly basis and be able to put it down and know how to track it using the budget planner that you can get down here below. Second thing is, how then do I start building an emergency fund? So there are three ways. You can start by building a yearly emergency fund. The second one is the 6 months, and the third one is the 3 month. But this can feel a bit overwhelming, because if you take, like, for someone who's using 50,000, if you multiply by 3, that is around 150,000, and maybe you're not making a lot of money. You see, that is the problem. Someone feels like, this is a lot of money, I cannot be able to build this emergency fund right now, so I feel like, let me brush it off and do other things. That is where you go wrong. You do not have to give yourself the pressure to build your emergency fund in the next 3 months, to build an emergency fund in the next 6 months. No. When it comes to building an emergency fund, you take the baby steps. So give yourself a target. For the next 6 months, I want to be able to build an emergency fund for just 1 month. So I'm talking about me saving an amount of money so that I can be able to reach the 50,000 that we use on a monthly basis, because building an emergency fund will take you time. So that means you need to be very realistic with yourself, and you need to put yourself down. And for someone who is just starting and you're like, even me being able to save like 3,000, 5,000 on a monthly basis for the next 6 months to build my emergency fund can be a bit high for me. What do you do? That is where the concept of saving 50 bob comes in. You can be able to save 50 Kenyan shillings on a daily basis. So many of us ignore the 50 shillings. Someone can use 50 bob to buy credit or something. Someone can use it to buy bundles. Someone can just use it to do something that is not of worth. But what if you can commit yourself to putting aside 50 shillings this month, so that you can be able to see if this is something you can do? So how do we go about it? The first thing is, I want you to go and download the app called Chums. Chums is an app that you can get on your Google Play Store. I think it's only in Kenya, where you can be able to download it. This is how it looks. After you have downloaded the Chums app, I want you to go and register with them. It's 5 minutes. It's very quick. They don't need a lot of details. It's very quick and very easy to get started with. I want you to give yourself a target. For the next 30 days, this is how much I'll be saving on a daily basis. So we are starting with 50 bob. You can be able to put as little as 50 bob, as little as 30 bob on Chums. And here is where the good thing comes in. If you're that one person who always finds themselves forgetful, you always find yourself having money, but somehow you just forget saving, Chums has a reminder. You can be able to tap on the reminder, so that in case you have some money in your M-Pesa after purchasing something, they will always send you a reminder to be able to save with them. So as little as 10 bob, as little as 50 bob, as little as 30 bob, you can be able to start saving that little, so that you can grow yourself. But here we are doing 50 Kenya shillings on a daily basis. So this means you have to sacrifice 50 bob. But I know so many of us can afford 50 shillings. It's just that we don't see that this is such a big amount of money that can save you a lot. So for the next 30 days, you can be able to save 50 shillings, which will be in turn 1,500 Kenyan shillings. After you have saved this little amount with Chums, I want you to withdraw this amount. The second thing, and start saving it in a money market fund. So the purpose of you saving 50 shillings on a daily basis is because I want you to build the saving culture in you. I want you to see that 50 shillings is not just a small amount. It is something you can be able to save, and it can grow in a matter of time and give you a good amount of money. Now that you've saved 1,500 shillings, you can take this money and transfer it to your money market fund that you want to work with. For anyone who is like, I have no idea what money market fund to start with, I have no idea what money market fund can work for me, I'll leave a video down here below that will show you the best money market fund you can be able to start with in Kenya, and that you can be able to start saving with in Kenya. Just go and watch it and you'll be able to understand. So some of the money market fund that I currently use is the Mele. Save your money in any of this money market fund or any that you choose, and start building your emergency fund. This 1,500 shilling may look like a small amount of money, but trust you me, this is the beginning of you building a culture. Because by the time we are headed to the next month, you will feel like, oh, if 50 bob could build this amount, then that means I can add. So instead of 50 bob, it can be 100 bob. By the time the month is coming to an end, that is 3,000. So this way you are building yourself an emergency fund, but you're also building a saving culture, because so many people ignore this small amount of money that can help you in one way or the other. So start by saving 50 shillings, and I hope some of you are going to get into this challenge. Save 50 shillings. Build yourself an emergency fund and see yourself, by the time something is happening, by the time that business is not bringing in the money that you want, by the time that employer is telling you, get out of my office, get out of my company, you are not needed anymore, at least you will have a cushion to fall down to, because you don't want to be one of those people that is out of jobs. You are out, you don't have a job in the next 3 months, and you're literally calling everyone and no one wants to see your number on their phone anymore because you have become a nuisance to them. You want to be able to start building a simple emergency fund with as simple as 50 shillings and grow yourself. I'm not saying that you'll remain at 50 shillings. I'm just giving you a concept to help you start with that small amount of money, that 1500 Kenyan shillings. Start with that. By the time you're moving to the next month, give yourself a target of 100 bob. Give yourself a target of 70 shillings. Build that. Save that. By the time we're moving to the 3rd month, you will have built that culture and you will see the worth of actually saving even more, because you are building an emergency fund that will save you in the future. So I hope someone is going to take this concept, run with it like it's no one's business, and go out there and tell as many people as you can to subscribe, to watch this video, because it's going to help someone. It's going to open someone's eye. And I'm also getting into this challenge. I mean, I cannot be telling people and then I'm not the one taking it. I want to take this challenge, and I also want you to take this challenge. And if you are someone who's going to do it, please tell me down here below. You know what, comment down here below if you're actually going to do this challenge with me, because this month we are in the 6th month of the year, and if you can be able to start as early as now, by the time we are headed to December, I know so many of you would have reached your 1st month emergency fund. So I want some of you to comment down here below. Tell me if you are going to start, and get yourself a budget tracker and get yourself a saving tracker if you're someone who always finds it hard to commit yourself to things like this. And it's not just an emergency fund. There's so many other things you will get in the saving tracker that will help you to build yourself, from things like pension funds to things like medical fund. These are some of the things that will help. These are some of the investments that you do not want to miss out. So make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have found value, and do not forget to hit that notification bell and like this video. From me to you, it's bye bye.